Hello, my friends. It is time for another collective energy message. I really was just getting home and thought we should do one. So here we are. If you haven't been following me lately, I've got some membership programs that came online a couple weeks ago. And I also am just doing more group talks. So if you resonate with these messages and if you have a venue or a community that would be interested in having me come and talk and give either collective messages or do a Q&A type style discussion, please let me know. I do have my little cat monkey here sitting in the corner, and he is so wonderful to have when we do these online because his energy really anchors down in a way that is a bit different than when you just see me all by myself. But I really want to, and you just heard the phone go off probably. It's just validation, so much validation. It's so beautiful when I can talk to you from my home because the energies in my space tend to be more anchored, where when I'm traveling, you'll notice I'm a bit more almost like whenever you would be traveling in the 3D realm, right? You're not in your home, things are all over the place, you're getting the lay of the land, you're finding directions, what to eat, where to eat, who you're spending time with, all the things, right? And it's a collective reminder that right now you can metaphorically think of us as we're all traveling. There have been so many shifts and portals in recent times that we are, and I will tell you, I speak to those who are aligned with similar energies as me. So this might not all align to you, and that's okay. Take what aligns with you and just brush over what doesn't. But a lot of us are moving through significant portals. And I would tell you that if you're not, it probably means that you are already aligned at that highest level, or that you have chosen to remain where you're at, which is a neutral decision, right? Everything is about choices. Everything is about choices, and choices are not good or bad. They are simply choices and decisions and forks in the road. It's like coming upon two trails that are parting, and do you go east or west? These are not competing energies, they are just very different energies. And we're having a lot of these choice points occur quite rapidly in a row. And it's a bit of a choose your own adventure in the respect that if you choose to go one way, you'll come across a different choice point. And if you choose to take the other direction, you'll go across another choice point. But I'm speaking very simply as if there's two directions, but the reality is that there are literally infinite directions. But even if you can think of 10,000, that will give your mind a reference point to work within. And I'd remind us all to work within those reference points. Our mind is incapable of really recognizing the breadth of infinity. And so just pick a really big number, right? If you're able to talk to your own mind in a way that is helpful to you, then do that. We are all aligned and attuned very differently. And again, the different is not good or bad. And I'd really remind you to let go of conflict. A lot of people are showing up to a different opinion or viewpoint or perception or any of that, and just coming at it very combatively, very either in some kind of aggression or in some kind of competition, in some kind of uh, threat or lack. And if you are watching or seeing what is going on and feeling threatened or lack or fear at some level, let that go. I encourage you, I implore you to let that go, uh, because that is your own energies. And I want you to think of it as if in nature, right? Redwood tree is not in competition with a cactus. and vice versa. And they're also not good or bad. We just have very different expressions based on the environment that we live in. And especially as humans, if we are choosing to continue to have combative energy, it will continue to result in combat. And this really tags back into that idea of as above, so below. And we are seeing these greater concerns happening across the world, and they are more than just the wars and the genocides that are occurring in current times. They are speaking not only to our earth nature, and the so below is kind of our home nature, right? If you are finding yourself, despite anything that's going on in the macrocosm, if you are finding yourself having more arguments or having more fears or having more, and a lot of it can be thought patterns, a lot of these thought patterns of this is what you should be doing, or you could have done better than that, or that person is wrong, or that is inappropriate, or whatever it is, like let it go. Let it go. I honestly, uh, and I can't think of a better word at this time. I honestly pray that as a whole community, we can want everybody to be their best self. And that is vastly different versions, right? And I'm reminded of the Einstein saying about, and I'm paraphrasing, but something like if you put a fish on land, he'll be wrong. But if you put I don't know, a squirrel in the water, he'll drown. It's kind of this idea that you can be completely attuned and right for your environment, but if you were picked up and put in someone else's environment, you're absolutely wrong. And it's this idea that there is nothing, and I made up the squirrel part because I know that's not part of it. It's something like a fish in a tree. I can't remember. I'll try and, or someone else can look it up. And I hope you know what I'm talking about. Um, but it's this idea that if I were to sit there and tell like a fish on land that he was such a, effing idiot or whatever, or got like so upset with him and started screaming at him and had big problems, like it's ludicrous. It's honestly ludicrous because we would never think that way about that, but we don't always recognize these nuances to the environments that we're in. A part of us, especially in our mindset, it puts the same rules on everything. It says we're all the same, we all operate the same, and everybody thinks and feels and reacts the same way that I do. And the reality is that it's completely false. It's completely false to think that everyone should be the same, that everyone has to be the same. And in fact, it would be, from this mental perspective, it would be absolutely detrimental to our society if everyone was the same. And if you can start to see and recognize the value in the differences, recognize the value in someone who is good at whatever they are good at, and allow them to operate in a space where they can be cherished for who they are fundamentally, and allow them to flourish and bloom in their own right. It reminds me of something like lilacs and roses. You would never expect a rose to look like a lilac or a lilac to look like a rose. It's, again, ludicrous. It's ludicrous to think that we should all be the same. And yet we fight over such trivial things. And we fight often over fear and lack. And the truth is that if we are able to join together and to collaborate in community to support all needs, we will grow and flourish that much better. Because I can tell you about myself. I know that I am very blessed to have a community of people who provide so many blessings to me. And to a degree, I'm just looking around my house, but I even look down to my kitty monkey, and there are just so many blessings around this world. And if we are able to honor each other and able to believe and to trust that everything is falling into place exactly as it should, everything is for our highest good, everything is going to our utter best, that is the only path that is able to manifest. Because a part of this discussion is that we are significantly more powerful than we have been conditioned to believe. And it is imperative to understand that you are able to create your own reality. And and in creating that own reality, you're able to decide things like how worthy you are, how abundant you are, how loved you are. You're able to decide things about how easily and smoothly things go. Are you right on time? Is everything working in your favor? Do you believe that you are meant to be? Because if you can have this small little crack in that foundation that says that you are an absolute miracle, you are miraculous. You are an incredible blessing. And we have been remiss to lose sight of that. And whatever faith you are in, I hope you take this saying lightly, but this idea that we are all children of God, and you can say that in many different ways. We are all divine beings. We are all co-creators. We are all able to manifest instantly. I want you to start believing in yourself as someone who can manifest instantly. Because being able to manifest instantly says that we are able to be here in frequency. It says that we are able to exist, and it says that we are able to be alive, we are able to create life, and we are able to continue to flourish as we so choose to do. We get so caught up in this mirroring effect, what is happening outside of us, and saying and pointing, and it's that, and this, and the other. And the reality is, all of that is a projection of what's inside of us. And if we are able to even take a minute to observe what is inside of us, if not to then empower ourselves to, whether we're shifting drastically or just tweaking all the time, I want you to start to trust that no matter where you're at, similar to getting a haircut, you should be aligning your energy regularly. You should be clearing out negativity the same as you would cut your nails. And you should be taking, and again, I use that word should. You are welcome to do whatever you would want to do. And I would deeply encourage with loving heart that you consider that the same way you bathe your body, you have an opportunity to cleanse your energy and maintain your energetic body in a way that is so helpful and productive and useful to your own self, that then radiates into your entire community, whether that is the people who live around you and your family or the farthest depths of space. To start to recognize that we have a larger impact than, and part of this is the technology that is coming out. Part of this is the way that humanity is progressing with this newfound knowledge. And I just want you to keep this one phrase in your mind whenever it is useful. It's like, what if it worked out? What if it worked out? So often we think of all the bazillion ways that something can fail or falter or cause trouble. the ways that we can fall into peril or be attacked or have to defend violently our ideals or our property or our loved ones. And very rarely do we think, what if this just worked out? What if it just worked out? What if it just worked out? If you like, you can take a deep breath in with me and exhale deeply. I'm personally not going to be doing energy work for anyone who's listening to this, wherever, whenever you are. But I do want to lead us through an exercise, a particularly potent one. And I do energy work. I do help people in that way, but it is my highest goal to teach others how to do it for themselves. And if you ever have a session with me, you can imagine it like a shortcut. Session with me is a shortcut, or if we're doing well, a validation. All right. Hopefully you know all of these things already, and I'm simply validating what you already know. But attuned with this is a recognition that I don't know this stuff. there is what is often called the Akashic Records, the holistic library. Even if you just think about the word omnipresence and its association with the divine, there is this idea that all knowledge is available to us in the ether. And it's simply about selecting where that information is and pulling it into your consciousness, into your mind, so that as your mind is a satellite, it can read the information that is most helpful to you at that time. And typically our if you think of your mind as a satellite, our satellite is attuned to what we're interested in. And this is what's really interesting, because then you can tell your satellite, you can program your little mind satellite to keep track of other things. And regardless of if you're doing this, you are doing it subconsciously. And what is incredible to start realizing is that we have significant powers that operate in the unconscious that we are mentally unaware of. And when you start to think about everyone as whether they are mentally aware or unaware, or I should better say conscious or subconscious or unconscious of the way that they operate, that they are operating inherently based on a program, we'll call it. And I want you to this word program used to be very triggering to me. It used to really mess with me because I would have these outspurts. No one's controlling me. Blah, 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 blah. You know, I'm a divine sovereign being. All of that. And I want you to think of that word programming as much more your habits. You know, what are you conditioned to behave in? Because that conditioning, whether it is self-imposed or imposed on by your culture or society, and I use all these terms lightly, the environment that you live in, and think of something like that. I lived in the desert for a while, and in the desert, it's beautiful this time of year. I'm in the northern hemisphere, and it is cold and dark and rainy. And even when I lived in Australia, it would be beautiful this time of year, right? And so if I walked around thinking, or even, angrily telling people that it is winter, that would be only true for those people who lived where I lived or lived in a place that had that same quality. And there is this new recognition coming online that not everywhere has the same qualities as where we live. And I'm using this example and I'm hoping you're able to project it out into many other parts of your life. Because then when we start to think about, and let's talk about things that are close to home. So your home is close to home. The way you live, how clean is your home? Are you, what kind of diet do you have? Do you play music? Do you um, live in a different style of home? And even now, as I'm saying these examples, I'm looking around and thinking about my current house and simultaneously realizing not everybody lives in houses, right? And there is this inherent quality in us to hear anything and relay it back to ourselves. And this is imperative for survival because we're trying to figure out where the similarities are and if whatever we're looking at is going to be a threat. However, we're moving into a dimension where there simply are no threats. The only threats that exist are the ones that we are creating. And what's beautiful about that is if we can take a pause and center in and come back to ourselves and figure out how to have no internal threats to ourselves. No internal threats to ourselves. And like really take a strong look at that because I know I'm a threat to myself and I don't mean that in any particular way, but I've done things I know I shouldn't do. I maybe I think especially around like food and drink, there's a lot of opportunities there. There's people who are on highly toxic and honestly deadly drugs. There are people who are killing each other physically. There are people who are slowly dying from diabetes or alcoholism or gluten intolerance or all of the things. There are people who are simply homeless and lying to the elements that are unsafe in a certain way. There's people who have diseases. There are viruses that are just killing people off in mass droves. And what is incredible is to get to a point where you can trust that your energy is sourced divinely so that your everything, your abilities, your energy, your peace, the smoothness and alignment that you live your life in, all of these are so attuned to your true reality that anyone else doing anything else has no impact on your space, your identity, your reality, because we start to recognize that there are people who are trying to coerce, there are people who are trying to manipulate, there are people with genuine intentions to alter and interfere with others. And sometimes those intentions are positive and sometimes they're negative, right? You can try so deeply to help somebody, and I think we've all, not, I shouldn't say we've all heard that saying, maybe we haven't, but there is a saying out there that you can't help someone who doesn't want to be helped. And as much as we can have compassion for everybody and have this cohesive community support, we're getting to a place where it becomes detrimental. It becomes detrimental to bog your own self down so much with just problems. And I mean that as a blanket general statement, because there will always be problems to solve. And if you continue to put your energy into problems, and again, I'm using this as a very generic statement, if you continue to put your energy into problems, you will continue to grow more problems. And simultaneously, if you put your energy into solutions, you will continue to flourish more solutions. And I am more and more hearing in my channel's messages this term, I implore you, I implore you, I implore you. And I hope that if this resonates with you, and if you already have had this intuition come in, that you continue to do exactly what is right for yourself. Continue to truly honor your own integrity despite what anyone else is saying, because you are the only, and again, I want to count my words, your soul, I'm diverting and we'll come back. Your soul is outside of your body. A lot of people don't think this. They think it's in your heart, they think it's in your mind, somewhere. Your soul is actually outside of your body, and it encompasses your whole body and more. And that's where, if there are certain places that you align with people's energies, you might feel them there. So why we have grave sites or other things like that. Even if you scatter someone's ashes, there's often a place that we associate with someone. Even if they're still alive, you might have positive memories there. Could be where your child was born, or where you got married, or where just something really, you had really beautiful memories. Really beautiful memories. And from that perspective, you can have an opportunity to really claim your own body, claim your own environment, claim your own space, and take power over it. From a soul level, take power over the physical part of you. Be absolutely free, be absolutely sovereign, and let nothing, even your own negative thoughts, influence you. Because you have an opportunity to have utter freedom, and to have divine love, and to have a level of authenticity that is unmatched, should you so choose. And I come back to that saying, as above, so below. Because if you are following someone else's lead, if you are trusting someone else before your own intuition, if you are thinking or saying things like, oh, that person knows better than I do, these are simple examples of giving away your power. And if you are able to deeply and truly believe that you are always going to do the best thing for yourself, and then just stand up and do the best thing for yourself, our entire world will be transformed instantaneously. They did ask that we pull cards today, so we will do that. And oh, right, I appreciate them so much. They said they're the same cards I pulled earlier, which are so relevant to all of us. The first one I'll give is Blessed Change. Blessed change is coming. It is happening. So many of you have already felt it. A lot of us are in transitions or feeling transitions coming. Many people are feeling unsettled or unstable in some way. And if you are in that space, I would encourage you to continue to seek the new. And depending on where you're at in these stages, have your grieving process. You know, we have limitless pathways, as I said. There's a pathway where we hold on to the past, we get sucked into it, and we circle around in that whirlpool until we decide to leave. There's an opportunity where we continue to inch forward a little bit. There's another opportunity where we skyrocket into another reality. And I will tell you personally, that's the third option is my goal, hoping to skyrocket into another reality. And get clear on your goals. And goals can sometimes be a charged word. So get clear on your intentions, get clear on your wants and desires. And I really want you to think high level if you're choosing to engage in this. Think high level that you are absolutely worthy. Your love is guaranteed. You are meant to succeed. Your dreams are visions. Dreams are decisions. They have already been written in a path towards you today. And if you decide to say yes to that vision, to that dream, to that desire, to that pureness within you that has a passion and a fire of interest towards an infinite spectrum of things. And I'll give you some examples because I'm interested in some very specific things. I'm just kind of looking around my space right now to get some inspiration. But I've got an eagle on the wall. I really love birds of prey. I love hawks. I love ravens. I love owls. They just fascinate me. And you can even pull that out into all different kinds of birds. I really love goddesses, especially goddesses that align with animals. I'm absolutely into crystals. I love candles. I love cars. Ooh, I love cars. I saw a pink Lamborghini the other day. Ooh, so hot. And on that note, I love Paris Hilton. I love all kinds of different and you know, I know she gets a lot of flack. I guess I'll just say I think people have strong opinions sometimes, and I would encourage you to neutralize any strong opinions. Anywhere you have a strong opinion, especially if you're feeling triggered, especially if you get angry, especially if you get even if it is on the positive side, especially if you get into that like obsessive fandom, if you get into some kind of degree of emotion that is high, whatever emotion that is, if you are having high emotions, it is an instant indicator that there is some level of attachment there. There is some level of identity or belief about what that means. And is it okay if we talk about Paris? Okay, thank you so much. I always question about when we're talking about real people, but we do have the blessing of it. And so if Paris Hilton ever sees this, please let me know if that's okay with you. I hope it is. We're talking more metaphorically than about you specifically. I hope you recognize that you are an absolute icon, and I appreciate your willingness to engage in this discussion without your written permission. And so let's talk about Paris Hilton. Okay, so I absolutely love her right off the bat. Absolutely love Paris Hilton. Um, a lot of people think things like she, and I'm going to try and talk factually. And so if you have emotions coming up, I want you to think about the emotion and then think about the underlying belief, because our beliefs can shift slightly, right? We can have a mass of people who absolutely hate somebody, or on the other side, are so enthralled with somebody. And at the same time, it can mean something different to every single one of those people. And the backup belief is so much more relevant than the actual opinion. But oftentimes we get so caught up on that surface level that we forget to unpack what is in the back of our mind. And so, facts about Paris Hilton: she is an heiress to a hotel chain. A lot of people have limiting beliefs around money. They think that, and again, I'm just spitballing limiting beliefs. This has absolutely nothing to do with Paris Hilton. They think that, and again, thank you for letting us use you as an example. Someone who has a lot of money doesn't deserve it. They didn't earn it. They didn't work hard for it. They think someone who has a lot of money has to be, um, and I guess we're just cursing now. Someone has to be a bitch. They have to be really rude. They have to be an idiot. They have to um, stolen it. A lot of people think anyone who has a lot of money somehow did so unethically, whether that is stealing or fraud or whatnot. And yes, there are people out there who are doing that. Uh, but to think that every single person who is highly wealthy did so unethically, it doesn't make sense, right? And anytime your brain tells you that this is a blanket statement, every single person who has this must be this, that is the quickest way to know that that is a limiting belief, to know that that is absolute poppycock, and to know that that is just some sort of ingrained thought pattern. And it is, I'm having so much information flooding in. Please just give me a moment. Oh my God, I'm in love with this. Okay, so we're going to play a little game. We're going to play a game called Do the Spirits Have Your Permission to Intervene? And if that is a yes, please do say so to yourself internally. You can say your name 3 times. Just give your internal permission. And if that is the case, we're just going to invite your own personal ancestors and guides and all those for your highest and best possible good to come in and start clearing out any negative beliefs and just filling that space with light and love. And if there's something you're working on, whether that is your independence, whether that is your positive thoughts, whether that is your desire to grow and evolve, whether that is an animal that symbolizes something that you want to integrate in your lifestyle, whether that is just pure fire or earth or air energy or anything along. And I'm just giving examples, right? So know that in any of these, there are significantly more in these categories. You could want to embody the energy of feathers or trees or hats. I do love good hats. Um, and so in the honor of Paris Hilton, if something did not come to mind, I would like to invite us to, and you may also just tag this one onto your own personal desire and get a twofer. But I'd like to embody the energy of sunglasses. I absolutely love sunglasses. And I have never met Paris Hilton particularly, but I have a feeling she does too, because she is always wearing, not always, I should not say always, right? Because that tells me it's a limiting belief, but I see her often wearing very wonderful sunglasses. And so I have a feeling that she likes them too. And um, so, as a sacrifice of honor to Paris Hilton in the name of sunglasses, I would like to invite us all to be shielded from what may hurt our eyes, hurt our perception, and hurt our understanding of this reality, so that we may continue to walk through it to a space of higher good and blessings for a long, long time coming. Because blessed change is here as we so choose. Everything is within our view, everything is within our decision making. And so make those decisions, take the reins, and truly decide where you want to go and do that thing that warms your heart, would be my recommendation. And know that wherever you are, you have decided to be there, and you are ultimately powerful. You're powerful to choose to follow someone else's path or to decide to follow your own. And I would welcome you to follow your own path and be your own version of your highest authenticity. And if you need any help with that, I've got the program Free to Love and also the new Monkey memberships, where I would love to meet with you monthly and have all these energetic blessings around you throughout the month to help you transition to your highest version of self and have instantaneous, miraculous transformations available to you. Big energy clearing there if you felt it. Uh, I'm just so grateful. Do give yourself about 3 days. Drink lots of water. Really take care of yourselves, especially depending on where you are in those transitions. Most people, again, many paths, most people usually go one of two ways. They either have a ton of energy, are ready to go, 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 or they really need some rest and retreat time. So especially if you're in that rest and retreat time, get in a hot tub, take some hot baths, go to the hot springs, really nourish yourself. Not everybody will feel hungry and eat either way. If you feel really hungry, please nourish yourself. Please eat a lot of food. Sometimes these require a ton of energy, and other times you will be in that rest and retreat and not feel so. But no matter what, drink lots of water, and you can say nice things to your water too about how it's cleansing and healing and letting go of what no longer serves you, and recognizing also your body is a high content of water, and to allow your the water within your own ecosystem to serve as an energetic conduit for clearing, for purifying, and for bettering yourself in the name of bettering humanity. And I just stuttered. They really want me to remind you to bet on yourself. Bet on yourself, because you are magical, you are miraculous, you are the only one who will believe in yourself, and you have some incredibly magical gifts. And I would love to see you succeed. I don't even know who you might be. If you're hearing this message, it is meant for you, and I want to see you be your best self. So whether you see this one time or you watch it again and again, I really want you to know that no matter who you are energetically, if you have positive intentions, if you are, watching out for yourself, you have my full support. And I know someone's going to say it, when I talk about watching out for yourself, it's about recognizing that you really need to take care of yourself before you can take care of other people. It's as silly as it might sound, it's the plain metaphor, put your own mask on before you put someone else's. But on the energetic standpoint, you'll often hear um, to let your cup overflow, and whatever's overflowing to allow for others. And I will tell you personally, I want to be someone who has a lot of overflow. I want to have so much overflow that I can help so many people, but it absolutely requires me to take care of myself first. And people all over the world, but especially women in the United States, have been conditioned to put themselves last. And it is rampant. It is all over our media. It is, and I will say too, there are many different cultures. We I mean, it's not as stringent as some other cultures. No matter where you're at, there's this like hierarchy, typically in humanity, of who is most worthy and deserving of being taken care of. And the reality is that if we can start to recognize that being taken care of means something different for every single person, then as a whole, we are able to fit together like these puzzle pieces where the gifts that I have to give are nourishing to someone else who can be nourishing to someone else. And it goes all the way around our entire community, and I receive nourishment as well. And it requires both for you to receive and for you to give. And it is, I tell people this often, to think of it like breathing, right? To think that you are only going to inhale or only going to exhale is, again, ludicrous. Maybe he should be our other one. I'm using the term quite a bit, but it's absolutely crazy to think that you would only ever inhale or only ever exhale. And whether you take a deep breath in and then like let it out slow, or maybe you have a huge sigh and like you breathe in different later, roughly across your whole entire lifetime, roughly you are going to inhale the same amount of air as you are going to exhale, because there's only so much damn space in your lungs. And if you allow yourself to operate in the same way that nature operates, you will absolutely and fundamentally be in alignment and in flow. And I hope to work with you more. This video is getting long. So I encourage you to come this month. It is December 4th when I am recording this, but please know there's always events going on. This month, I do want to double check my calendar just so I'm looking at it right. We've got on December 13th, we have the Monkey membership meeting at 6 p.m. Pacific time. I'm so excited. We're going through the 369 portals. These are a technique that you can use whenever they boil down into numerology. You'll hear Tesla reference them as well. There is a 369 manifestation technique rolling out there. This is not that. They just have similar names. The 369 portals that we're going to be discussing are literally the ability to create portals to shift your reality instantaneously. And we're going to dive a lot deeper into it, so I don't want to give much away. But if that sounds interesting, please join the membership. It is at its lowest price ever right now, and it will continue to ramp up for 2024. And then on the 16th in Portland, Oregon, I'm speaking from 9 to 11 at the Doubletree Hotel in Portland as part of the Metaphysical Wellness Fair that weekend. It's a special event we're doing, so please come to that if you like to be in person. And then again, online, December 20th is Ask Alicia, 6 p.m. Pacific time again. And that one, we are doing open Q&A for the holidays. We did one last month. It was beautiful. This is a really good time if you want to get a mini reading to show up, and it's always dependent on how many people we have. So if we have a lot of people, they tend to be shorter, but generally it's a really good opportunity to get a mini reading. We go from 6 to 7, and I think that's all you need to know about that right now. I was just talking, I think we might do some more events with the CE5 group, some more events around, well, I don't want to give anything away. But there's more stuff coming. So follow me, join the email list. I don't typically put all the announcements on YouTube. So if you like this, please let me know. And I just want the best for you. And whatever you celebrate, I celebrate holidays this time of year. And from my heart to yours, I wish you and your family and your environment and all of your energy, wherever it's at, the absolute blessed reality that we are living in and that we are moving into. And I just love hearing from you. So I got some really beautiful feedback from one of my clients. I posted on Instagram. But I always love hearing from you. So if you see this, if you want to connect, this is especially a warm time of year, and also it's always good to hear from you. So we're almost an hour. I'm going to leave it there. I love you so much. I just love you so much. And I know I could go on forever. So please join those events. I am trying to be more timely and for the highest and best possible good. You're being helped. I love you so much. Have a good night, everybody.